Hello there, this video is your section 2 video, which is entitled Systems of Equations. A system of linear equations, for me to be a bit more specific, is a set or collection of equations that you deal with all together at once, or two or more lines that are graphed simultaneously. It refers to a number of equations with an equal number of variables. So let's say we're dealing with two equations. You would have two variables each, x and y. And what's very important when dealing with systems of equations, we often have to find a solution, or as they say, solve the system of equations. And that all entails finding a solution. So what is a solution? A solution is a point, obviously an xy point, at a point where lines or graphs intersect, a point xy that both lines have in common, right? Basically a point that your both lines have the same. They would have exactly the same x value and exactly the same y value. Please be cautious that the reason why I'm going through these definitions and explaining is because you are expected to know these definitions for your exam, because you do have theoretical based questions. Let's look at three possible types of solutions for systems of linear equations, and it's basically as straightforward as that. We have one where the two lines intersect at one point. If the slopes of two lines are different, they will have exactly one solution. So you have these two lines, they have obviously different slopes, and they have one solution. So this, the point at which two lines intersect, that is your solution. Then we have the situation where we have two parallel lines, and by now you all should realize, well, these are not intersecting at all, so therefore they have no solution. And then your third case, this is a situation where the lines intersect at infinite points. They are overlapping lines, one line on top of another, right? So as you could see here, line upon line, and we say that they have infinitely many solutions because they have multiple points of intersection, right? All the lines have infinite points of intersection. So these are your three scenarios that you all are expected to know for the SAT, and you must know when equations have one solution, what is that? What does that mean? That means that they intersect at one point, but they have different slopes. This is very important information. When do you have a situation where you have no solution? This is where they do not intersect because the lines are parallel. And then when do you have infinitely many solutions? The lines intersect at infinitely many points. They are overlapping lines, one line on top of another. If the slopes and y-intercepts are the same for both lines, they will have infinitely many solutions. This is extremely important to note. So again, we're dealing with linear equations, but in this section here, it's just a matter of finding the solution. Our next step is the math methods for solving systems of equations or finding solutions. And there are two methods: simultaneous equations and combination method. And there's the substitution method. The simultaneous equations or combination method is your most common on the exam. It's more popular. And I should say it's more frequently used because sometimes it's a shorter method than the substitution method. But again, it all depends on how quick you can work. So this involves adding the two equations together to eliminate a variable. And you can see what's going on here. So at this point, this is something everyone would have done before. Once you're coming into the SAT, you would have done this before. So it is expected that you would go through your some videos or notes on simultaneous equations, and also some notes on substitution. And the substitution method involves solving the simpler of two equations for one variable and then substituting it into the other equation, which is sometimes time consuming. So I'd like you all to take a look at this page. You can pause the video and just kind of read through. look at the example, and then we'll take it from there. This finally is our stopping point for systems of equations especially of linear equations. Again, your goal is 1 minute per question until you can do 30 to 45 seconds per question. I would like you to complete all suggested questions. That is page 64, number 1 and 4, page 65, number 9, and page 66, number 12. I would complete videos answering all these questions and showcasing how you can work these questions out.